Hello, my dear students. In this lecture, we are going to see one more theory, that is Higgs theory, which is also called strain energy theory. Right. Now, here, before start of Higgs theory or strain energy theory, we have to understand what is the meaning of strain energy. We have to understand what is the meaning of strain energy. Now, strain energy is represented by letter U, and strain energy is nothing but energy stored in the component. Energy stored in the component for external loading. Whenever component deforms because of external loading, the component will store some energy inside the component, and this energy is called strain energy. Again, for in terms of definition or in terms of formula, strain energy is area under force deflection diagram. Area under force deformation diagram. Force deformation diagram is called strain energy, or it is the energy stored in the component due to deformation. Right. Let us consider one simple case. Let us say this is a rod. Of length L, of length having L. Right. And if I apply force on this element, let us say if I apply force P on this element, this is a applied force P, right? And let us say the cross section of the rod is circular. Let us say consider any cross section. Let us say here I am considering circular. Now, can I say due to this applied force, the rod will deform? Now here I am showing deformation on any one side. The deformation will be on both sides. The total deformation from both sides I am representing on one side. Let us say this is total deformation, which is nothing but delta. This is total deformation, which is nothing but delta. Delta is a deformation, right? Now here can I say as force goes on increasing, deformation also goes on increasing. And if I draw force versus deformation diagram, if I draw force versus deformation diagram, right, the area under this diagram, as force is increasing, deformation is also increasing. Therefore, the area under this diagram, area under this diagram is called strain energy. Is called strain energy, represented by letter U. Represented by letter U. Now, if it is proportionality limit, now if it is PL, proportionality limit, that means the stress is directly proportional to strain, or force is directly proportional to deformation. As force is directly proportional to deformation up to proportionality limit, therefore can I say strain energy is equal to, this will look like a triangle, and x coordinate is delta, y coordinate is force P. For this triangle area is 1 half P delta. For this triangle area, is 1 half P delta. This is strain energy. But my dear students, the modulus of strain energy is a material property. Modulus of strain energy is a material property. That is, modulus of strain energy. Modulus of strain energy is nothing but strain energy. Energy is nothing but strain energy per unit volume. Modulus of strain energy, which is nothing but strain energy per unit volume, and this is material property. This is a material property. Therefore, in this strain energy topic, or in this Higgs theory topic or strain energy theory topic, we have to consider modulus of strain energy, that is strain energy per unit volume. Therefore, we will consider here strain energy per unit volume. Therefore, the concept of strain energy per unit volume, this we are considering here, right? Therefore, if I write strain energy per unit volume, what we will get? For this component, if you draw or if you write strain energy per unit volume, right, strain energy per unit volume, what you will get? Volume of this component is area into length. Right? Now, therefore strain energy per unit volume is nothing but capital U divided by V, which is nothing but small u, and this is material property. Therefore, U is equal to strain energy is 1 half P delta divided by volume. Therefore, 1 half P delta divided by volume. Volume is nothing but area into length. Therefore, this strain energy per unit volume is nothing but joule per mm cube. Joule per mm, energy is in joule, and per unit volume joule per mm cube, right? Therefore strain energy per unit volume is nothing but, see, 1 half P by A into delta by L. Therefore can I say this is nothing but 1 half P by A is stress, P by A is stress, and change in dimension you have a original dimension is nothing but strain. Therefore it is 1 half stress into strain, right? If I therefore again if I draw stress versus strain diagram, again if I draw stress versus strain diagram, here I will draw stress versus strain diagram. For this stress versus strain diagram, let us say if I draw stress versus strain diagram, this diagram will look like this, this diagram will look like this. We have already drawn this, we have already seen in these previous concepts. Now up to proportionality limit, let us say A is a proportionality limit, right? Now up to proportionality limit, the stress is directly proportional to strain, right? Up to PL, strictly speaking up to PL, and this is called Hooke's law, this is called Hooke's law, right? Now up to PL, if I see area under stress strain diagram, if I see area under stress strain diagram up to PL, it is nothing but here y coordinate is stress and x coordinate is strain. Therefore this area is nothing but, can I say, it looks like a triangle, 1 half stress into strain, which is nothing but strain energy per unit volume. Therefore area under stress strain diagram, area under stress strain diagram up to proportionality limit we have to consider for calculation, we have to consider for calculation, right? Therefore area under stress strain diagram is nothing but strain energy per unit volume, strain energy, strain energy per unit volume, and this we have to consider for the design, this we have to consider for the design, right? Now what is Young's modulus? Young's modulus is nothing but normal stress divided by linear normal strain. Therefore strain becomes, from this strain becomes stress divided by Young's modulus, strain becomes stress divided by Young's modulus. Therefore put in this, strain energy per unit volume is nothing but 1 half stress into strain, which is nothing but 1 half stress into strain is nothing but stress divided by Young's modulus. Therefore strain energy per unit volume becomes stress square divided by 2E. This formula is required, this formula is required here onward, right? That is strain energy per unit volume is stress square divided by 2E, or it is also 1 half stress into strain, it is also 1 half stress into strain. Now at yield point, at yield point, what is stress at yield point? At yield point, yield point, the stress values SYT, that is yield strength, the stress value is SYT, that is yield strength. Therefore strain energy per unit volume, strain energy per unit volume at yield point is nothing but, can I write SYT square divided by 2E, SYT square divided by 2E, right? Now these values are required for further calculations, here these values are required for further calculations. Now therefore I will write here conclusions, here I will write conclusions, that conclusions are, now this is a Higgs theory, the topic is Higgs theory, Higgs theory, or also called strain energy theory. Now the conclusions are, strain energy per unit volume at yield point is nothing but SYT square divided by 2E, divided by 2E, and strain energy per unit volume is nothing but 1 half stress into strain, which is nothing but stress square divided by 2E, stress square divided by 2E, right? Now for complex loading, we have to check for complex loading. Let us say for complex loading, for complex loading, let us say the principal stresses, if I consider three-dimensional loading, if I consider 3D loading, the principal stresses are, here the principal stresses are, let us say sigma 1 is major principal stress, sigma 2 is intermediate principal stress, and sigma 3 is minor principal stress, right? These are the principal stresses. Sigma 1, sigma 2 and sigma 3 are principal stresses, principal stresses, right? Principal stresses. Now for this three-dimensional loading, what will be the E1? What will be the E1? Now E1 is nothing but sigma 1 by E minus mu sigma 2 by E minus mu sigma 3 by E, minus mu sigma 3 by E, right? Again what is E2? E2 is nothing but sigma 2 by E minus mu sigma 1 by E minus mu sigma 3 by E. Again, what is E3? Right, strain along third direction, E3, strain E3, sigma 2 by capital E minus mu sigma, sorry, it is sigma 3 by capital E minus mu sigma 1 by capital E minus mu sigma 3 by sigma 2 by, sorry, sigma 2 by Young's modulus, sigma 2 by Young's modulus. These are the principal strains where E1, E2 and E3 are principal strains, right, principal strains. Now here there are three types of strain energies. Therefore, if I say what is total strain energy per unit volume, for this case, total strain energy, total strain energy per unit volume, per unit volume, that we have to consider, that is UT. Now see here, if I consider total strain energy per unit volume, here there will be one strain energy due to sigma 1 and E1, again another strain energy due to sigma 2 and E2, again another strain energy due to sigma 3 and E3. Therefore total will be 1 half sigma 1 E1 plus 1 half sigma 2 E2 plus 1 half sigma 3 E3. This will be the total strain energy stored in the component. Therefore, first of all, we will derive formula for total strain energy stored in the component. First of all, for this three-dimensional loading, we will derive formula or equation for total strain energy stored in the component. Right, now therefore this total strain energy stored in the component UT is equal to 1 half sigma 1 E1 plus 1 half sigma 2 E2 plus 1 half sigma 3 E3. Now put the values of strains, that is principal strains E1, E2 and E3. Therefore U total is equal to 1 half sigma 1, E1 is nothing but sigma 1 by Young's modulus minus mu sigma 2 by Young's modulus minus mu sigma 3 by Young's modulus plus 1 half sigma 2, and E2 is nothing but sigma 2 by E minus mu sigma 1 by Young's modulus minus mu sigma 3 by Young's modulus plus 1 half sigma 3, 1 half sigma 3, and this E3 is nothing but sigma 3 by Young's modulus minus mu sigma 1 by Young's modulus minus mu sigma 2 by Young's modulus. Now simplify this. See, from all the terms, consider 1 half and 1 by 2e as a common. If you consider 1 by 2e as a common, and if you simplify this, now multiply this sigma 1 into bracket, again multiply this sigma 2 into bracket, and multiply this sigma 3 into bracket, then the simplified form you will get that sigma 1 square plus sigma 2 square plus sigma 3 square minus 2 mu in bracket sigma 1 sigma 2 plus sigma 2 sigma 3 plus sigma 3 sigma 1. Now see, this is school level mathematics. You have to resolve this. You have to resolve this. This is total strain energy stored in the component for complex state of loading. This is the total strain energy stored in the component for complex state of loading in three dimension. In three dimension. Right. Now we have to define theory. Now we have to define theory. Now the theory says that for ductile material. Now we will see first for ductile material, that is for ductile material we will define theory, right? Materials. Now the statement of theory is a component subjected to complex state of stress is said to be failed when the total strain energy stored at a point in a material exceeds the strain energy at yield point under simple tension. That means a component subjected to complex state of stress is said to be failed. Component is said to be failed if total strain energy per unit volume, that is UT, is exceeds the strain energy at yield point, exceeds the strain energy per unit volume at yield point under simple tension. Means if this total strain energy becomes more than strain energy at yield point, then ductile material fails. Then material fails. Therefore, if I want to avoid failure, what we can say, this total strain energy stored in the component per unit volume must be less than or equal to strain energy per unit volume at yield point, right? Therefore By considering suitable factor of safety, we have to write this equation. By considering suitable factor of safety, we have to write this equation. Now already we have formula of total strain energy, that is ut. Already we have formula of total strain energy, which is nothing but one half E 1 by 2 E into sigma 1 square plus sigma 2 square plus sigma 3 square minus 2 mu sigma 1 sigma 2 plus sigma 2 sigma 3 plus sigma 3 sigma 1. This is the formula for total strain energy. And what is strain energy at yield point? It is nothing but SYT square divided by 2E. It is nothing but SYT square divided by 2E. Now, my dear students, while considering factor of safety, factor of safety is with SYT. Factor of safety is with SYT divided by FS. And if it is SYT square, then we have to consider SYT by factor of safety square. Right? Whenever it is SYT square, we have to consider SYT by factor of safety square. Right? Because factor of safety is with strength. And here SYT is a strength, yield strength, and here we are squaring the strength. Therefore we have to, while considering factor of safety, we have to consider SYT by factor of safety, strength divided by factor of safety square, right? Therefore to avoid failure, now here I am writing, to avoid failure we have to consider with some factor of safety while designing component. This ut this ut, the value is ut must be equal to this SYT divided by factor of safety whole square into 1 by 2e, 1 by 2e, right? That is at yield point. Therefore ut is nothing but 1 by 2e sigma 1 square plus sigma 2 square plus sigma 3 square minus 2 mu sigma 1 sigma 2 plus sigma 2 sigma 3 plus sigma 3 sigma 1. This is the formula, right? Therefore from both side 2e will get cancelled, from both side 2e will get cancelled. And if I consider square root both side, therefore SYT divided by factor of safety, that you will get under root of sigma 1 square plus sigma 2 square plus sigma 3 square minus 2 mu sigma 1 sigma 2 plus sigma 2 sigma 3 plus sigma 3 sigma 1. This formula you will get, and this is the Higgs theory for 3D loading. This is the Higgs theory for 3D loading. Now for 2D loading, we have to consider another stress, one of the principal stress as 0. For 2D loading, we have to consider one of the principal stress as 0. Therefore the theory becomes SYT divided by factor of safety, is equal to under root of sigma 1 square plus sigma 2 square minus 2 mu sigma 1 sigma 2. This is Higgs theory for 2D loading. Now once the theory is defined, we have to define, or we have to consider what is the validity of this theory, or where the theory is used, right? Therefore I will define validity of theory. Now see here, in this theory we are considering strain energy, for the design, right? And whenever component deform, the component stores strain energy. Whenever component deforms, the component stores strain energy. And we know that brittle materials deform negligible. Therefore the deformation in brittle material is very negligible, right? Therefore the brittle material cannot store strain energy. As the deformation in brittle material is very negligible, therefore strain energy is not stored in the brittle material, or strain energy stored is also negligible. Hence this theory is used only for ductile material, ductile materials, as ductile materials can store energy inside them. Ductile material can deform and they will store more energy inside them. Hence this theory is used only for ductile material and not valid for brittle. Very important statement. Alright, now after this, after validity, we have to draw graph. After validity, we have to draw graph for the strain energy, or Higgs theory, strain energy theory or Higgs theory. Therefore, here I will write graph. Here I will draw graph for this strain energy. This is again very important parameter, graph. Now again we are drawing for ductile material. Again we are drawing for ductile material. That means we are considering strength corresponding to yield point. We are considering strength corresponding to yield point. Ductile material, for ductile material strength is corresponding to yield point. Now for 2D loading, for 2D, what was the theory? SYT divided by factor of safety is equal to under root of sigma 1 square plus sigma 2 square minus 2 mu sigma 1 sigma 2. This was the theory for 2D loading, right? Now squaring both sides, I will get sigma 1 square plus sigma 2 square minus 2 mu sigma 1 sigma 2 is equal to SYT divided by factor of safety square. SYT divided by factor of safety square. Now see, the equation looks like similar to x square plus y square minus 2b xy is equal to a square. The equation looks like this, and this is the equation of ellipse. This is the equation of ellipse. Therefore, the graph will be ellipse. The graph will come as a ellipse. This is the equation of ellipse. Therefore, the graph will be the ellipse. Now number one, if I consider factor of safety is equal to 1, if I consider factor of safety is equal to 1, then what will be the equation? Sigma 1 square plus sigma 2 square minus 2 mu sigma 1 sigma 2 is equal to SYT square. As I am considering factor of safety is equal to 1, that means I am considering maximum loading. Here I am considering maximum loading. Right. Now we have to draw graph. We have to draw graph. Now while drawing graph, sigma 2 is taken on y-axis, right? Tensile sigma 2 upward and compressive sigma 2 downward, right? And sigma 1 on x-axis, sigma 1 on x-axis, tensile towards right and compressive towards left, right? Negative sigma 1. Now while drawing graph, we have to see major diameter and minor diameter of ellipse. Now find sigma 1 and sigma 2. Find sigma 1 and sigma 2. Now here in this equation, that is sigma 1 square plus sigma 2 square minus 2 mu sigma 1 sigma 2 is equal to SYT square. Here number 1, if I put sigma 2 is equal to 0, if I put sigma 2 is equal to 0 and considering factor of safety is equal to 1, then what will happen? I will get equation sigma 1 square is equal to SYT square. Therefore, this sigma 1 is equal to plus or minus SYT. We can say the sigma 1 will be plus or minus SYT. Therefore, we will get 2 points. Here we are getting 2 points. That is first point A, if sigma 1 is SYT, then also sigma 2 is 0. And if sigma 1 is minus SYT, then also sigma 2 is 0. Therefore, plot these points. Right? That points are, if I plot these points, first is A and second is let us say B. Now A point SYT comma 0, the point will be here, SYT comma 0, and second point is minus SYT comma 0. Therefore point will be here, somewhere here, right? Minus SYT. This is A point. Let us say this is A point, this is B point, that is minus SYT comma 0, Now again, in the above equation, second point, if I put sigma 1 is equal to 0, then the equation becomes sigma 2 square is equal to SYT square. Therefore from this we can say sigma 2 is equal to plus or minus SYT. From this we can say sigma 2 is equal to plus or minus SYT. Therefore what will be the coordinate? C point, if I consider sigma 1 is 0 and if I consider sigma 2 as plus SYT, no problem, right? And D point, sigma 1 is 0 and if I consider sigma 2 as minus SYT, no problem. Therefore plot these points. Now C point is nothing but sigma, this is C point, where 0 comma SYT, and point D, plot point D also, point D where 0 comma minus SYT, right? Now between these 4 points there is a ellipse. Between these 4 points we have to draw ellipse, right? With the equation of ellipse will be sigma 1 square plus sigma 2 square minus 2 mu sigma 1 sigma 2 is equal to SYT square. The ellipse equation must satisfy this equation considering factor of safety is equal to 1. Now, if I draw ellipse, see the ellipse will, for this loading, if I draw considering different points, if I draw ellipse, the ellipse will come like this. The ellipse will come like this. The red color ellipse will come, right? The ellipse will come like this. The red color ellipse will be there. This is how the ellipse will come. This is how the ellipse will come. Now this is a ellipse, right? The safe zone, therefore area under this is safe zone. The area enclosed by, or the whatever space enclosed by this ellipse is safe zone, is safe zone. Therefore we can say the safe zone for Higgs theory or strain energy theory is a ellipse. The safe zone for strain energy theory or Higgs theory is a ellipse, and this theory is valid only for ductile material. This theory is valid for only ductile materials, as brittle material cannot store strain energy, hence only valid for ductile material. Thank you dear students. In next lecture we will see one simple numerical on Higgs theory.